Hello, and welcome to the proper backtracking episode for Ghost. We start with the band's debut album, Opus Eponymous. Released in 2010, it came with through Rise Above, and it was produced by Gene Walker. So it goes through a very doom, prog, psychedelic-leaning act, and the first song points that out. Okay, so the first song is the instrumental track Deus Culpa, but first proper song, Con Clavi Con Dio, points that out more. The instrumental work is very unique, and not as heavy as metal typically is, but still being mind-bending with solid timing and good drum work especially. The lyrical themes of Satanism are interesting, and I do like the heavy focus on biblical speakage that actually adds a lot of colour to things. The performances are great. The Nameless Ghouls all rock, and Papa Emeritus is a versatile and charismatic vocalist in his own right. Production is very dense in a lot of places with solid tracking techniques, and it's all mixed pretty well, with the usage of organs and a choir being a really nice choice. The structuring is pretty interesting, with solid rhythms to carry the album through and some fun experimentation to change things up a little bit. My favourite song goes to Death Knell. Opus Eponymous has a great name, and it's a really good first album, being short but sweet and just a lot of fun. Next is the band's second album, bear with me, Infestissimum. Released in 2013, it was their first through Loma Vista, and it was produced by Nick Raskulinecz. So their debut did pretty well, and they did a lot of touring, sharing the stage with the likes of Mastodon, Opeth and Down, among a crap load of other names. But onto the album itself, which starts with the instrumental title track and then goes into first proper song, Per Aspera ad Inferi, and yep, this feels like a Ghost album now. The instrumental work is still very fun riffs mixed with great keyboard and drum work and some really solid bass too. The lyrics are again satanic, with songs about the Antichrist and his arrival on the planet, just, you know, inevitable. Just a lot of fun times. Fun, happy times. The performances are solid once again, with Papa E still being a damn good vocalist and the Ghouls all being good at playing the instruments that they play. The production is again handled well, as I would expect from Nick Raskulinecz, and there's some really good effects used with a lot of the sound too. The structuring is a bit slower, as it has 10 more minutes to pad out, but the pacing is still decent and it shows a lot of restraint. My favourite song goes to Year Zero. While the band's sophomore effort does have some growing to do, it's still a lot of fun and it fits with what the band is good at to a T. Next is the band's third album, Meliora. Released in 2015, it was again put out through Loma Vista, and it was produced by Klaas Arlund. So yeah, Infestissimum worked well, and they got to tour some big stuff, being part of the Big Day Out tour and even hitting up Sonosphere as well, which is basically Sweden's Download, and that's just some good work. There was an EP as well, and that's about it. But yes, this album, which starts with the song Spirit, is pretty bloody solid as it goes. The instrumental work is still heavy and it has a good doom amount, but there's also more spacey tones to things which work really well. The lyrics are sort of the usual themes, with a more gothic lean while talking about the impending arrival of Lucifer. Lovely bloke, by all accounts. The performances are still great, with Emeritus adding a bit more lightness to his vocals, and there's some more energy to the group too. The production is better controlled and more risky, with more sci-fi elements and keyboard focus, which works better than it should. The structuring is a bit faster, but each song still feels unique, and the usual elements of the band sound are messed with in a lot of fun ways. My favourite song goes to Cerise. Meliora acts on a lot more of its own chances and pays off better, doing what the album's title translates to in pursuing something better. And finally we reach the band's fourth album, Prequel. Released in 2018, it was again put out through Loma Vista, and it was produced by Tom Dalgetty. So the band were busy after Meliora, mostly touring the Popestar tour and dropping an EP of the same name, while also having to deal with a royalties lawsuit by former members. But still, they did find the time to make this eventually. The album starts with the intro track Ashes, which is a vocal chorus opener, which then goes to first sort of proper song Rats, which is my first full Ghost song too. Anyway, yeah, this album be good. The instrumental work is pretty slick as usual, with bouncy feeling riffs and much harder drumming. The lyrics have a theme surrounding the Black Plague, sort of making for a concept while including the usual spiritual overtones that you've come to expect. It's again solid performance-wise, with Cardinal Copia this time being a solid character and Tobias remaining a solid force behind that character. The production is also again good, and Tom does a great job with what he's given, adding a lot more to the mix and making things sound nice and polished. The structuring is also a little bit better, faster feeling, with a better flow, packing a lot more and making a lot of it work across the runtime. My favourite song goes to Pro Memoria. Prequel is an album that does something unique and fun, still sticking to the band's usual style and mixing it up in great ways with a really good concept too. And that is another episode down of this, and another fun one. I always had some doubts on if I would fully like Ghost, but they're a band that find ways to improve their sound, and I'm really excited for whatever they drop next time. That's what's next from me. Tomorrow night, stream Psychonauts, and the day after that, maybe an episode of Music of the Week, I don't know. But I do know that on Saturday night I will definitely be able to get the parts of PBW vs AVW up, and I should probably do a match card at some point, and there might be a Fight the Night review this weekend. If there's a fight card, I don't remember if there is or not. But yeah, that'll about do it. The next episode of Backtracking will be another Raymundo request in the band My Bloody Valentine. So yeah, that's about it for this video, and as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.